YouTube channel below. Today I'm going to talk about how I found out I had cancer. Started about 4.5 years ago. Actually, the whole journey probably started about 5 years ago. I was out having a good time, drinking a bit much, and out in public, and I injured myself. I tore my urethra, and I was having blood and urinating. Well, that kind of cleared up after about 2-3 weeks. A little bit of blood, a little bit of scab every now and then. A couple months went by, it came back. A couple more months went by, came back a little bit worse. A couple months went by, and then it was just really bad. A lot of blood. So during that last couple months, in between that time, I had started feeling run down at work. My joints were aching, my elbows, my wrists, my forearms were aching. So I didn't know what was going on. It seemed like I always had the flu. So I was kind of like trying to figure out, I had two things going on with me that I needed to take care of. One, I thought maybe they could put a plastic tube in there or something until it healed totally. I don't know. I didn't know what could be done. And the other rundown feeling, I couldn't really explain that one. I don't know. And then I started getting diarrhea more and more and losing weight. So as that happened, well, we got to that last point where I went and there was a lot of blood. So I went to the ER, and the doc said, you got gastroenteritis. You know, they did x-rays and all that, and that was the conclusion he came up with. And it kind of blew my mind. To say basically I had gas, and that's what was making blood come out of my penis. I couldn't really relate the two, so I was like, all right, doc, whatever, I'm out of here. So out I go. So I continue to follow up with my primary. We run a couple more tests, some MRIs in my lower GI and all that area, blood work. Then I was starting to really feel run down. They wanted to do chest x-rays and EKGs and everything. They ran a lot of tests on me. And they were getting nowhere. Got no answers, nothing. So then it kind of would go away and come back a little bit. And the blood part did clear up. But I knew it was still injured. And the feeling run down and all that, never really got an answer. Got offered a bunch of pills along the way for the gastroenteritis, pills for that, pills for the nausea, all sorts, and I didn't take any of them. They're sitting in the closet. I'm not a pill popper. So then I started getting sick again, and I lost a lot of weight. Didn't eat for like a week. And I went to the doc. I'm like, we got to figure this out. And they're like, it's gastroenteritis. And I knew it wasn't. I know there's something more wrong with me. It wasn't me, you know, to all of a sudden start feeling this run down, bone aching, just like you got the flu all the time. So went back, doc ran some blood work again, wanted to do x-rays again, and then finally Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and I have a gold policy, not a platinum, not a silver, not a bronze, but a gold. And they ended up rejecting any further testing on the matter. So I was like, oh boy, okay, well, option B for me. Fortunately, I'm a veteran also, and I have VA health insurance. I've used the VA in the past. I kind of bounce between the two, primary, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, very well respected doctor, he tried finding the problem, but got cut off by insurance. So then the VA, I decided to go there because the VA in the past has been very tremendous for me. They've run any test I want. There's no questions asked. They just go until they find an answer or think they found the answer. Basically, money's no objection. They ain't running on profit and shareholder profits and things like that, investors. So I went to the VA. They repeated almost every test the doc did. Numbers were pretty good. Everything was good. Stress test was good. All that, everything. They ran everything, and they're going to do another lower scan. And I had an appointment. I went in there a little early. Tried to get out early. So I'm at the VA hospital. They told me it was going to be a little while. I said if I wouldn't mind, there was a tech training on the sonogram. And if I wouldn't mind if she could practice on me and play around and look at my organs. And I was like, sure, why not? Why not? So then I take off my shirt and stuff, and she's doing my heart, looking at my valves and all that. And I'm explaining to her my one crooked valve and the swooshing, and she checked that all out. And I'm like, you know what? Can you check out down low? And she seemed a little uncomfortable with that. But I'm like, I'll do the top of my pants, check out like my bladder area. And so she's down there, because I had mentioned I had bladder retention because I have an enlarged prostate that projects into my bladder and don't always drain all the pee. And I was kind of curious, if she could spot that. So she's playing around with it, trying to zoom it in, get focus. And she gets this really puzzled look on her face, and I'm looking over at the thing, and I kind of get a puzzled little look on my face. I really didn't know what I was looking at them. I go, it looks like a baby boy. And she goes, no, that should be your bladder. And it looks like there's a giant jelly bean in there. And so she goes, hold on a minute, I want to get the doctor to take a look at this. Maybe he can explain to me what I'm seeing. So she disappears for a little while, comes back with a doc. They take a look at it, and they're both like eye rolling, like, oh, I think you found something. So then they go, well, the X-ray you're getting today, the MRI you're getting today, we'll be able to see down low, and we're going to do all the way your whole lower abdomen. So we should be able to get a better view of what she just saw. And they did. And they had found it. It was a 2 3/4 inch long by 1.5 inch wide tumor. So that's kind of how I found out about it. I didn't give up. The VA performed the surgery. They were going to do a biopsy first, and the surgeon came in and said, hey, coming in, he's wearing a white tank top, hairy chest, sticking out tattoos all over, a pair of work dickies and work boots. This is the surgeon. Comes up, he's like, hey, we're going in to take a little bit out. Here's what I'm thinking. Why don't we just take it all out? And I'm like, I'm up with that, man. We fist bumped, and I'm like, take it all out. So they scheduled that surgery for like 2 days later, I think it was. Went in, had the surgery. They did an excellent job. Great after surgery care. And that's when the whole journey began. I didn't stick with the VA at that point, but they did do a wonderful job finding it. Without the VA, I would have never found it, and who knows what would my outcome would have been. Would have I gotten to the point where I was stage 4 and terminal? You know, who knows? Who knows? So staying persistent is definitely some advice I could say to you. If you know you're just something ain't right, you know your body. I know my body. It wasn't gas. I know gastrointestinal stuff. I've had all them rotavirus and all them other things. I know the pain down low. You know, I like Mighty Taco. But anyway, so staying persistent for me. I was lucky. I have the VA health insurance. Kind of saved my butt. But if I didn't have them, I still wouldn't have gave up. I would have seen if the doctor could have followed other pathways to get different kinds of tests done. And I think they would have eventually found it. And why it's hard to see cancer in the bladder, I guess, is because if your bladder's empty, it's folded up. It doesn't really give accurate images when you have x-rays or MRIs done. And the ultrasound is kind of like a 3D thing. Kind of like a CAT scan, I guess. But I don't understand why they can't see in there. All I know is, to this day, I get a scope every 3 months, and they stick it up in you. I guess that's the best way. Stick a camera right in there and take a look around. You know. All right. Well, that's how I found out I had cancer. It took about a year to find, along with my other problem, which after surgery they had to do some things, and everything down there seemed to have healed up. So there is scarring from the surgery. VA's tools are a little obsolete compared to high-tech cancer institute or private cancer care. Cleveland Clinical, places like that, they used high-tech. The VA had the old, this thing was like a 3/4 inch round tool sticking up in you. So needless to say, they had to make the opening a little wider. Pretty brutal, but we lived through it. And I will be doing more videos on my journey. Like I said, that was about 4.5 years ago. And as I'm giving you this video, in 9 hours, I'm going to be put under for another surgery because the cancer came back. And I had a scope last month. And it was a little, I stay awake and watch that thing. God, I watch it like a hawk, you know. Tell them, hey, what's that? What's this? Look over there. Spin that camera around. What's that? I'm all into it. So it wasn't bad. It was a tiny little thing. It looked almost like a scab on the bladder wall. I'm hoping, and like I said, I'm hoping it's not bad. Lesion types usually aren't good news. I'd rather have a tumor type, but. And this ain't my first rodeo, like I said, as I'm 4.5 years in. This will be, if you want to call it a tumor, it'll be my 4th. The first one was huge. The second 2 were and this one was tiny, but who knows? It's been a month. And I'll give some more videos about my journeys, things you can expect, things that have worked for me. Ways of staying positive, you know. Like I couldn't even tell you when I was diagnosed. I can't even tell you when that first, you know why? Because it don't matter to me. It don't matter. Why do I want to know them dates? So I can harp on them? Nah. See, I let it go in and out. kind of how I deal with it a little bit. Right or wrong, I don't care. It works for me. Alright, so I'll be giving you some tips that work for me, you know, with the scope, getting it so it ain't so uncomfortable. Obviously, good nurses help. I'll do a video on that. Just things that might help, you know, how, like, when it comes scope time, the nerves, all that, how to get through the scope going in, you know, that can be uncomfortable, and I've learned a couple tricks to make it a little better. That's same with getting treatment, whether you're getting immunotherapy or chemotherapy. I've done both, and yeah, I haven't done too much chemo, but the immuno, and I'll be doing it again here shortly. What to expect afterwards. Yes, what to expect. Things are going to change. And life changes a little bit during that period of time. And do videos like that. And, you know, the mental parts of it too, how to get through it. Maybe I'll even invite Kelly, my wife there. I'll invite Kelly to maybe tell her a little story on how she deals with it, because she's by my side for the whole thing. Alright, well, hopefully, like I said, this was just how I found out. Stay persistent, know your body, know what's right, what's wrong. If something just keeps coming back, there's probably something going on. Don't always be impressed by the first answer. If you don't think they got it right, they probably didn't, because you do know your body better than anybody. So don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid to get different opinions. Don't be afraid to go see different doctors. Use the system to work for you. And always practice, you know, try to be proactive. When you hit that certain age, especially if you got a history in your family, colonoscopy, check your PSA levels, you know, your prostate. This is for the men, of course. Women, you have your own things. You know, your breast cancer checkups, mammograms, all that, you know. Stay up on that stuff. Don't pass it off as, oh, it can't happen to me, because it's becoming more and more popular here in the U.S. More pesticides, fertilizers, hormones, vitamins, growth hormones, all that stuff that we use on our products and eat it and drink it. It's just increasing cancer rates like no tomorrow. So again, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you want to seek some more as I bring them out, and I will be bringing them out, because like I said, in 9 hours I'm going to be under the knife. So I'm going to have a little bit of time. So I'm going to have 6 weeks of what they call immunotherapy with BCG. I'm going to do 6 weeks of that once a week. And I'll talk about that, maybe film that whole thing. Maybe film, you know, what to expect coming out, because that can be a shocker. Maybe it doesn't happen to everybody. Maybe it's just something to be aware of. Side effects too. Alright. So again, if you like it, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notify. I plan on breaking out some more videos on living with cancer. You know, you can't let it bring you down. Stay strong. God be with you. Peace out.